Right, hello, good afternoon. So today we've got an interesting one. Had a customer just recently post on one of the forums that the pump he had, he couldn't seem to time it right. Now, I sent over my recent video which shows how you can check your timing by looking at the element lift in the pump, which he did, and it still didn't help him. So I said to him, look, you've tried all the other bits and pieces on your engine, send me a pump back. The pump has finally arrived today, which I've been really looking forward to because I wanted to see what on earth was actually wrong with it, if it was the pump, if it wasn't the pump, whatever. And of course, this particular chap, Eli is his name, had put a post about it on the internet. And as you know, everyone on the internet has an opinion, whether they know how a pump works or not. So I was very keen to see what on earth was going wrong. And sure enough, what I thought might be wrong was wrong. But the reason why it was wrong, I think I've come up with the solution for. So, when you time up one of these injector pumps, you basically have to use a pump locking tool like this. And the pump locking tool, it locates into a small pointer here. And if you come around this side, look, this pointer goes in the side of in the pump body, and it locks onto this here. Right. I've noticed something with a certain type of locking tool, because there are a few different types, that these have the ability to go all the way in. Now this is the one that I generally use on my test bench, and it has a little pointer on it. This is probably like 10 years old or something, and it has like a little nipple on it, and it stops this pointer being able to go in too far. This other version, this kind of newer version, a more generic one, which you'd find on eBay and all the rest of it, this will go in further, and it actually has the ability to go down the side of the actual flyweight and jam it entirely. So why is this relevant? Well, basically, what a lot of people do when they're trying to time these, they put the locking tool in and they'll rotate the pump backwards and forth, via the engine on the crankshaft. And if this goes past that little pointer there and it clips down the side, bingo, like that, it actually has such a good grip on there that you can physically twist this on the drive shaft. So this is the pump shaft here, this is the camshaft, and as you can see, it has a taper on the end, and this has a taper also. You can see it has a keyway, but it doesn't use a keyway. On this particular model, it does not use the keyway. It relies completely on those two items being tight. Now, if that locking pin drops down the side of the pointer and you actually pull it hard, you can physically rotate this and knock the timing out. Now, the reason I'm quite confident in this is because we've started to mark the end of because I had a theory about this a while ago, we've started to mark the end of the shafts. This one hasn't been marked, but we mark this and mark this, and you can physically see if these two items have been turned and have been moved since it's been here. Because when we've actually built the injector pump, we've done the timing, we've set that pointer, there's a second check sheet, a list that we do for every single pump, so regardless of when the pump's done or whatever, it has the shop number, it has the pump number on it, it tells you the phasing measurements and all the details, any interesting things. And it also says here, you can see, timer marker, position checked at 16 degrees. So that's after you've done it, you have to physically write and say, yes, I have checked that, and then it all gets signed. And let's see if the timing pointer slipped off. Let's show you what I mean by slipped off. So if we rotate this, just let me know if you can see it clearly. But you see how that timing pointer is locked in now. So that is where you would install your engine. But for example, if that timing pointer slipped off like that, right? Could it be possible, have we got the orange marker pen? Thanks. Could it be possible that this here could move on the shaft? So I put it to the test. Now this is still torqued up, nothing's been slackened off. This is exactly how the pump's arrived. It's torqued, everything is as it should be, the locking collar is in there, and the locking washer, everything is there. So I'm going to now try and rotate this and see if them two pointers misalign. Looks like it did. Now, that shocked me, because these tools obviously have the spring in them, and they're kind of designed in such a way that they're supposed to pop out. Now, there's various different designs. Some have more of a chamfer than others or whatever. But it shocked me in that I just pulled that, and that's direct drive with the shaft, with the pump. And as Will just pointed out, which was a very valid point, if you were rotating the engine with a bar or a ratchet or whatever, this is obviously a 2-to-1 drive. So you would have twice the amount of torque, even with a ratchet, that I have with that bar that I've literally just pulled. So if that happened and that locked and you did turn your engine, you're going to move that. And I think this is exactly what's happened in this scenario. So it's absolutely critical that you do not try and turn these engines and rotate these pumps with that pump locking pin in, because you're going to offset your marker. I mean, yes, you can go absolutely ballistic and tighten them, go crazy, and I can even show you to the extent we do that. The locking tool, the actual tightening tool, wherever it is, where has it gone? Oh, it's here. So the actual tool that we use to tighten these up, the original Bosch ones, we were snapping them off because we were tightening this, because I was concerned about this issue. So we make our own. This is made of EN28T, and it is absolutely tough as anything. You can really get some torque on that, more than you can on the standard Bosch tools, which we used to snap the tangs off. So that nut that's in there is as tight as you could ever get it. And it's still possible, if you're rough enough and stupid enough and you get that pointer in, I'm not suggesting this is why people don't like me. If you're rough enough and you do miss that pointer, you can get that jammed and offset this. And that 100% is what happened, because we can see that. So we're going to reset this right, but it's so important that you get this right, because you're going to end up in a situation where you don't know where you are with the injector pump if you do end up moving this, and you're going to end up having to send it back to us. And when you end up sending it back to us, then the scenario happens that's happened with this pump. You know, DHL missed the collection, so that delayed it, and then we've got a nipple that's broken off on the top. Look, we don't know whether that's, you see, this was brand new when it went out. We don't know whether that's happened in the postage or whatever, so we're going to put that right. Again, it's another cost to us. The Alder system, because of the way that it was boxed, there was no padding around it. That was all bent, so we're going to have to replace the Alder system. We do all this for the customer free of charge to keep them happy, but this could have been avoided had I have made maybe a video like this sooner. So it's just to make people really aware that you can really damage or move. You can damage your engine, you can move your timing point, all by not paying attention to this small point. Right, so I hope I've made that clear. And if you think that you might have this issue, as I've shown in the past, you can do a simple check. So if I take this back to 0, so you see how the diesel is squirting out there. As I rotate this clockwise, you might be better bring this so that, see if you can aim the camera at that, as well as showing that in the background, dripping. Let me see if I can help with the torch. You see how it's lifting as I'm rotating it? Oh no, it is probably more than 2 mil. So that's at the bottom, fully down. I'm going to rotate it round. Right, that's spill port cut off right there. Right there. So it's probably more than 2 mil. You've probably got like 3.5 there. And that is the point in which this fuel pump is going to start injecting diesel. So that, when that's at that point, it should read 22 degrees before top dead center on the engine. I know this timing pointer makes things confusing because this is after, but that's because Mercedes put this internal timing offset in there. So, moral of the story here is be really careful with that pointer, because that physically, as I've just shown you there, I haven't slackened that off. You can move that flyweight on there, on that shaft. So you've got to be very, very, very careful. And obviously, you know, for our sake as well, because if you move that and then say my pump's no good and whatever, it gives us a bad name when the job's been done right. It's just a case of making sure that pointer does not slip past there. So, anyway, we're going to set this right. I hope this helps a lot of people, and I hope it makes you aware that you can do damage or move that pointer if you're not careful. All right, thanks, bye.